Hey, hey, how's everyone doing? Happy Friday. We're back again for another segment of On the Ring Apron. I'm Steve.
And I'm Kia.
Welcome back to everyone that's going to take the time to join us here. We'll give a couple of minutes to get some folks in here live. We've got a good bit of topics to talk about here as we starting to have our guests start flying in here. Hey, everybody, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
But we had a very interesting week as we continue to build towards Money in the Bank. A number of matches starting to finally take shape for the pay-per-view this week, and also an opportunity for someone else to jump into Money in the Bank. That was unexpected, but we'll get to that as we move along. But before we get started, very special shout-out. You guys who have watched with us know that we tend to do birthday shout-outs to those who have taken the time to benefit us and everything else, and this one goes to one of our very special friends that's out there. Y'all have seen her on NXT throughout the years, and so we wanted to take a minute to wish our friend Izzy a happy birthday, the Izzy World Order, Izzy Mania.
Right.
At Izzy Mania is her Twitter handle. If you guys have not seen the type of work she does, it's not just, the Bayley super fan anymore. She's very much now, training. You see her in the gym. You see her at her, even during the quarantine, she's sitting here at her home gym, working out. She has her own show on Wednesdays, Hot Tag with the Izzy. Make sure you take the time to go check that out. She really does fantastic work. You can tell she's putting her heart and soul into this. So anyone who's putting in that kind of time, that kind of effort, we're definitely going to be 100% behind. And she gave us, an absolute, great rapport when we first got started with this, and it really did mean a ton to us.
It really does. And Izzy, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. I do catch all your shows and all your posts, and I want to say you are very, very dedicated to everything you do. I believe you're going to be great when you get to the roster, to the NXT, to the SmackDown, to the Raw, whichever one you decide to go to. So, again, happy birthday, and I hope you had a lovely day. And
for me, happy birthday to you. It's really not a matter of if you become, a wrestler for WWE one day. It's a matter of when. It's all about, you definitely have the dedication, you have the mindset. We're proud of you for everything that you've accomplished, and we know that you're just starting to scrape the very beginning of everything that you've got going on. You do fantastic work, and happy birthday.
We actually are getting to see her coming from the ground up, and it's rare for us to actually physically get to see like a Sasha or a Bayley or anything like that, but getting to see Izzy from the ground up, from not just a girl in Florida, but a girl who's living her dream. She's doing everything. She's putting everything into it, and for me, I would love to see that. I love to see that. Anything that women do, it's just amazing. And so for her to do that and for us to be able to physically see it, it's awesome. I couldn't put it any other way. She's very loyal and dedicated.
Absolutely. So, have yourself a fantastic birthday. I know it's late in the day, but hopefully your day was amazing. We sent our shout outs and hey, let's get a hot tag and On the Ring Apron collab going here soon at some point.
Yay.
So, hopefully we'll have you on the show here. We got a prediction show coming up next week. Maybe we get you to drop in if you got a spare second. But Anyway, a lot to talk about this week. A lot of things happened. Let's begin with Monday Night Raw. Once again, starting off with the MVP, the lounge, with MVP bringing in the three competitors for the Money in the Bank ladder match, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, and Apollo Crews. Of course, Zelina Vega having to stick her oh-so-beautiful nose into the business, leading to a very good six-man tag, Apollo Crews pinning the United States champion Andrade, which led to what is now being known around the world as the slap of the PC slap.
What is it? Slapped him back to church? That's what happened. My goodness.
Charlotte and Andrade's kids felt that one.
Yeah, they did.
But they it ended up leading to a second match between Andrade and Apollo, this time for the United States Championship. Apollo Crews putting on a great match. But he tweaks his knee at the end of the match, ends up being unable to finish a match that not only it looked like he was doing well in, but potentially was going to win. And as a result, not only does he not win the United States Championship, but it also puts him out of Money in the Bank.
But my thing with that whole thing, I love, and let's go ahead and give Zelina her props. Not only was she dressed to kill, like, every week, in those heels, and those jeans. I'm not going to even sit here and, hate. Don't hate. But I love how she just promotes. She promotes Andrade. She promotes Theory. She promotes Garza. She is literally doing her thing. There's nothing you can say about that woman that I don't think nobody has said yet.
I'm not gonna sit here and even lie. Okay, if I tried to put on the heels that she had on this Monday, I would face plant so quickly. And I don't know if you saw it as she's coming down the ramp. She's she's got Andrade's arm and kind of, helping her, making sure she gets down that ramp in one piece.
But she did it gracefully and she did it with beauty, and that's one thing you can say about her.
At this point, Raw just has the Vega cam, as we've come to call it here in the house. Maybe we can get that trademarked or hashtag or something. But with Apollo Crews being removed out of Money in the Bank due to his knee injury, it opens up a spot, and they announced tonight on SmackDown it's going to be a gauntlet match. They haven't announced the competitors yet, but an opportunity for someone else to get the opportunity to jump into Money in the Bank.
As much as I hate it, and I know that Apollo was just now getting pushed, he's had matches in the past where we assumed he was going to get pushed, and he finally gets pushed, and then every time it happens, it seems like something happens to pull him back. So I wish him the best of luck with his recovery, and I hope everything goes well, but I cannot wait to see who goes in for the gauntlet match, and I cannot wait to see who actually takes that last slot.
Well, they did say it was a last chance gauntlet match, so you have to assume that the people who did not win their matches will have an opportunity to be able to compete again, but that only leaves 3 people from Raw. Does that open up the door potentially for maybe some SmackDown folks to show up, or do some people who maybe didn't get an opportunity to compete, get a chance? I'll tell you one person, just right off the top of my head, I'd want to see in. Get me R-Truth into that match.
Oh my God, he'd be so great.
Well, R-Truth, you could see him. First of all, you could see it. He's gonna show up at the Performance Center for Money in the Bank when he's supposed to be at the corporate headquarters. He'll show up at the wrong building.
But he always puts on a great performance. He's humorous. It's funny. You want to watch every week, if nothing else, for him. And what is he gonna do? So honestly, I think that'd be a great pick. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
And then continuing with the Money in the Bank theme, we have the open slot. But with that, along the same lines, 2 spots getting filled tonight on SmackDown. Otis, surprisingly, going clean over Dolph Ziggler with absolutely no interference. Very, very surprised, honestly, by that result, considering they let Otis go over at WrestleMania, and also the fact that there was 0 outside interference in this match. None. And then you also have, but with outside interference more on the Mandy Rose side, is unfortunately Sonya Deville sticking her nose in her match, costing Mandy the match, and allowing Carmella to qualify for Money in the Bank.
But what you saw, and I hate it because like we were talking about, if we knew what we knew about the men and women both having to actually have the match simultaneously, there could have been a Otis and Mandy storyline going further into this. But with that being the case, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But I liked how Otis actually did the caterpillar. You don't see many men who could do that and actually pull it off.
I can.
Okay, go ahead. You got the floor.
We need followers, okay? You want to watch me do the caterpillar? You want to see me get dressed up in Otis garb? You want me to cosplay and start doing caterpillars? That's fine. Get us some followers. So promote our name. Hey, we always want you guys socially promoting us on the Ring Apron, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
Yep.
Make sure you guys are taking the time to promote our show out there because, again, we still have our 100 follower promise. We put it all the way back at WrestleMania, but we're still committed to do so. When we hit 100 followers, when we get to triple digits, we're going to debut our new cosplays. We really would love to be able to do it here on the show, but that's completely up to you guys. So, with that being said, and you mentioned it earlier, so kind of jumped the surprise a little bit, but they're making the announcement tonight on SmackDown that the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches this year, of course, going to be at the corporate headquarters, starting at the ground level, working its way up. But at the same time, they also announced tonight that both matches are going to take place simultaneously.
Yeah, they did.
So the men and the women's competitors are both going to be running through the corporate headquarters at exactly the same time. I don't know necessarily what that means because you look at who's in the men's match, who's in the women's match, you really don't have any set people that necessarily, team up with one another.
They could work together.
Because, of course, you had a perfect opportunity, like you pointed out. You could have had Mandy and Otis in the match, and there have been opportunities for others. But, you look at it and you're like, why are we needing to do this at the same time?
I don't know. I don't know. To me, I think it's just a lot going on. But I would like to see how it plays out, knowing that we know what we know, and it's going to be all at the same time. What do you think is going to happen? How do you think it's going to play out? I think anything is possible at this point.
You know what was going to happen, right? Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
So,
let's just see how it plays out, and let's see how it goes. We could be surprised. We could, get some shenanigans going.
All I worry about, and they've been, of course, talking about how the match is going to take place, where the end result is going to be on the roof of the building. I don't want anyone getting tossed off a 70-story building. That seems like it'd be very painful.
Yeah.
Hopefully, someone's got a nice inflatable, set up down below, or a nice bungee area. But I do concern that someone's going to take it a little bit over the edge, and someone's going to get tossed off the side of the building. So. That's some dark stuff, but we'll see what happens. But hey, we're only 9 days away from Money in the Bank, which of course means fun for us as well, because that means not only do we get our normal show on Friday, but it also means we get our preview show, second episode of Top Rope Spoilers, which will take place next Saturday. We'll have an opportunity to be able to go over the entire Money in the Bank card, review some of the matches, and then, of course, provide our official predictions, just like we did for WrestleMania. For those of you who watched WrestleMania, you know that the missus here holds a 12-10 lead on me after WrestleMania. We're actually going to keep tallies over the course of the year, and we have a little side wager between the two of us as to who's going to potentially have to do something very interesting on camera. Look at this look right here.
Wait, I didn't know nothing about that until tonight. Yeah. All right. Now I got to think.
Yeah, well, we should be absolutely, continuing to give you the best picks that we can. We're going to give you our best analysis and make our best choices. Mm-hmm. You know how WrestleMania goes, but now that we're starting to get back into main pay-per-views again, you never really know what's going to happen. Money in the Bank, especially with so many names, so many competitors available out there. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But we now shift our way from the, I guess you call it main roster shows, to what ended up being an extremely stacked NXT, leading to an even more stacked NXT next week. So, well, you have the analysis, so we'll let Kia take it away.
Okay, so like we said, first of all, I want to comment on the whole Candice LeRae going back to last week, where she actually was talking about like how she's not going to sit second at anybody's table anymore. And then we see her this week, her and Johnny this week, where she has her new look and her new theme and her new intro.
Johnny with a microphone on commentary.
But I love, honestly, I've always been about the heel characters since the day that I've started, and this day you got me started on this. I've always been about the heels. I think the heels are the best people. And yes, you doing what you do. I feel like with Candice, I want to see how vengeful, how spiteful, how mean she can actually be. We've seen it from Johnny. I want to see it from her.
It's coming. And, this is really the first opportunity that the NXT universe has had a chance to see Candice LeRae in this particular mode, because she's always been exactly what her character states. I've been one that's, I've put everyone else first. I've been the leader of the locker room. At this point, I'm tired of waiting for my turn. I'm tired of waiting as women pass me by. At this point, it's Candice time. And I like it, honestly.
And I honestly I do too. I really do. I like how she's, it's about her. And if you don't think about you, nobody else will. And that's clearly what has happened with her. I also, her competing against Cat and Zero, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She did what she did in that match, but I don't feel like she had to come back and prove her point and beat her up some more. I think she was already down and out for the count, but hey, I guess when you've turned heel and you're actually trying to get your point across, you do what you have to do. And then Johnny, oh my gosh, in the ring doing the whole Johnny, it was too cute, but I think at some point she might even turn on her husband, but hey.
Well, she's not above kicking him in the balls. We've seen that.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But another match was the Charlotte and Flair, and I'm a big Mia fan. There is no hidden way I'm not. But I also like Charlotte, and I feel like that was a good back and forth match between the two, and I feel like, honestly, if I had my vote, I would have wanted to see Mia win. But I believe she has grown over the last 5 to 6 years, and she put up a good fight, and she gave Charlotte everything she could handle, honestly.
Well, the match was set up of this, mindset that Mia and Charlotte, when Charlotte first debuted in NXT 5.5 years ago, Mia was her very first opponent. Now, I'd like to, this is your fun fact of the night, that match only lasted 49 seconds before Charlotte ended up taking Mia out rather quickly. But then you look at their careers, and they made this this comparison that they've been on parallel tracks, and yet you look at their careers and you see Charlotte Flair having won 12 different championships over the time. She's main evented WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Mia Yim, no championships and still in NXT, and now Charlotte has found her way back into NXT. not because she, needs to be there for developmental reasons. She's there because she feels like NXT's women's division has taken a step back, and she's there to bring them up to the level they need to be once again.
She feels like they should be royalty just like her, is what you're saying.
And I don't think she believes that at all. I think it's that she is reminding them that she is the queen and that the underlings need to step up their game.
But the way she walks and the way she carries herself in and out of the ring, with the title or without the title, I feel like a queen is royalty, and I feel like she's wanting to bring them up, like you said.
Well, the good news, of course, is that the mindset, of course, Charlotte going over clean with the figure 8 leg lock after what ended up being about a good 18 to 20 minute match. Mia putting on a very good show. And I really think that's going to be kind of the idea of what they're going to run with Charlotte here in NXT. I don't think she's necessarily going to be dropping the title anytime soon, but the idea is taking these women competitors and they're going to build them up by letting them have matches against someone who historically is able to boost up who she's up against.
And speaking of boosting up people, I think Io has a fighting chance. I'm not saying she's going to take it, but I think she's going to do the same thing Mia did and give her all she can handle. Like Asuka and Kairi, she kind of crazy. She kind of off.
Well, no one's going to question that she won't bring her A game. And again, that's something to where, you look at the predictions and everything else. The good news is the fact that with that match being next week, we can go ahead and give our predictions here. I think it's too early for Charlotte to be dropping the championship. That's not to say that Io Shirai isn't going to go out and put on a good show. But at the same time, the whole idea is to build up these almost dream matches of all of these NXT women's competitors. Well, let's have you go ahead while you're still here in NXT. Let's put you up against the big gun. Let's put you up against the biggest, cannon we have.
And that's Charlotte.
In Charlotte, and let's see what you can do. And then that's going to really kind of set the standard as to exactly what it is and whether it's, Rhea Ripley returning, whether it's, heel Candice LeRae, if it's Io Shirai, whomever you want to throw in there. At the end of the day, whoever is the person that they choose to be the one to finally dethrone Charlotte is going to instantly get that boost from here to way up here.
I feel like also the ladies, in NXT, nothing against Charlotte, I feel like they have big shoes to fill after the whole thing with Rhea and Rhea having to drop the title. I feel like now everybody's having to prove that they can actually handle what, Charlotte is throwing out, and they're going to have to give their best and work real hard and, show that, we're not just some, small name down here in NXT. We are the big guns up here. So let's see how it works out. Let's see how it plays out. I'm pulling for Io, and like you said, there is no way that they're going to let Charlotte drop it so soon, but it doesn't hurt to, it doesn't hurt to dream. It doesn't hurt to think big.
It's funny you say dream because we're actually leading into next week's match, and we talked about next week's NXT being completely stacked. You look at not only Io Shirai and Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship, but also Velveteen Dream going to finally get his opportunity to get a shot at the NXT Championship as he takes on Adam Cole.
Baby!
She may never do that again, so you need to make sure you enjoy that.
Second time. You've seen it twice.
First time on air though, so there. Yeah. Now we have it live, so now I can watch it anytime I want. But Velveteen Dream making his return has really been toying with Adam Cole. Cole kind of returning the mind games by not showing up for several weeks. And they've been having to deal with this issue with Imperium on one side causing trouble. Of course, Dexter Lumis, continuing to loom in the background. What they're going to do with him, I have virtually no clue. But he is going to be interesting to watch. The easiest comparison I could think of up to now is really Ryback when he first got here. He was very much just powerhouse. I'm not going to, I don't work by the hour. I'm going to just take folks out as quickly as possible and just look like a monster until they're ready to give him the push that he's, going to get, whether that's for the North American, whether that's for the NXT, whether that's moving him up to the main roster. But Velveteen Dream going to finally get his shot with Adam Cole. So now you get 2 championship matches in the same night on NXT next week, and
I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do. I don't think I could be more excited for a show than I am with NXT.
At least a televised show anyway.
That's right, but they put on phenomenal matches every week, but we also have to give it up to Triple H and William Regal for actually putting it out there. Either way, I'm just excited. I'm excited.
Well, because of the fact that, again, just like we did with Io and Charlotte, do we think it's finally time? Cole's already the longest reigning champion. He doesn't have much left to prove. Is this finally the time for a title change? Does Dream win the title this next week?
If you're asking me, I think so, honestly, because you think, like you said, Adam Cole has literally done everything. What more can you do? He pretty much has run undisputed into getting all the golds. He has fought on his own. He has put up fights. He's done main roster work. He's flown from city to city to do main roster on a dime, So I feel like with him, and who better to hold the NXT title than him? Maybe Dream.
Well, I guess we'll see. I'm actually going to go the other way on this. I actually think that Adam Cole has all the necessary skills, and he proved it just before the run into Survivor Series last November when he actually ended up winning a match cleanly over Daniel Bryan in a given week, and then he won another match on Raw earlier that week. I can't recall off the top of my head who he beat, but it's, he's been able to prove himself that even without the Undisputed Era being at ringside, he is capable of being able to win the big matches, all his classic rivalry matches with Johnny Gargano. He's beaten Tommaso Ciampa.
Yep.
So, Cole has proven himself. Dream has been in his head, but I think Cole has proven that he can play mind games just as easily. If it comes down to just simply ring skill, both are relatively even, but I'm actually going to go with Cole to retain because I think that they're just not ready for him to be quite done with it yet. And who they're going to build up as the next big name, I'm not really sure.
I feel like he can, pretty much what you're saying is he can hold his own without needing the help of the Undisputed.
Well, I think he's proven that over time.
Yes, he has, actually.
We'll see. And for those of you who haven't been on the shop, a little shameless shout out here. The Adam Cole plates have come out. We've had the Undisputed Era ones on our plate for a while. So, hey, as I said, we had an anonymous donator. Hey, if anybody else wants to send a little this way, we'll be happy to put in some more plates, have another plate exchange. But the shop finally getting a lot more plates out there, and so we may be needing more shelves here pretty soon. But anyway,
like 9 ain't enough?
No, it's not.
Oh God, dear goodness.
More plates. There's always room for more plates.
My goodness.
And then of course the main event of NXT this week, Keith Lee and Damian Priest putting on an instant classic.
Whoa, that was that was good.
And you can tell that even though Lee ended up retaining the North American Championship to continue his run, you can tell that they are really high on Damian Priest right now, and it's only a matter before the Archer of Infamy is eventually a champion.
But they were also high on Keith Lee, so it's like, passing the title around, which to me it's not a bad thing, but I want to see Keith Lee hold it a little longer.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Well, he has for now, and and I do think that it's going to be a situation where I feel like if you're going to take the title eventually off Keith Lee, so far, at least as far as I've seen it, for the near 2 years that it's been in existence, the North American Championship has been the title that has eventually been like the interim run into the NXT Championship.
Yep.
When Cole had it, he eventually, once he dropped it, he moved up to the NXT title. Gargano, same story. Once he won it, he moved up to the NXT title. So that kind of sets the tone that Keith Lee is getting lined up to be the next person to make the run at the NXT Championship. Once they decide that it's time for him to drop it, however that happens to be, whether it's to Dijakovic, whether it's to, whether it's to Damian Priest, whether it's to somebody we don't know yet, Loomis maybe, but
someone I feel would probably be a good, like you said, Dijakovic probably would be good also, but I think we're seeing a trend here, like you said. They go from one title to the next, and then after that title, and they've done it, they go, who knows, to main roster.
And to not go under the radar, we mentioned Dijakovic also. NXT also going to have Dijakovic have a one-on-one match with Johnny Gargano next week, and they're also set to put the seeds in place potentially for Candice LeRae to come back to the ring potentially against Kaden Carter. So, I mean, you're looking at NXT, and I mean, literally from 8 to 10 Eastern, I mean, you're looking at a completely stacked card. I'm with you. I'm looking forward to this NXT probably more than I've been looking forward to shows in the last couple months.
And let's not forget Finn Balor. Who took him out last week? Izzy, we need you to figure that out.
Detective Izzy, where are you at? Come on.
We need you to figure that out. We need some answers. We think we might have, a person, or she thinks she might have a person, but we'll have to wait and see. I can't wait to see what he's going to say next week. The confrontation against the unknown attacker.
Well, we'll see, because of course his run with a potential shot at Walter's UK title kind of throwing, having to be thrown to the side due to the whole COVID-19 thing. So what will Finn Balor be doing from here? We'll see how it goes. So, I mean, a completely stacked NXT card for next week. And then, of course, building it up to where NXT going to set the tone for its show while we build into the final week heading into Money in the Bank. Of course, pay-per-views are, always are exciting times as, we finally have gotten a few weeks past the WrestleMania. States slowly starting to return back to normal, maybe not as fast as some people would like, but, at the end of the day, I think everybody, for the most part, that communicates with us is trying to stay safe. We want you guys to continue to keep doing the same, and hopefully we're going to get back to being in arenas soon. But with that being said, we've run out of time for this evening, but we wanted to, again, as always, thank you guys for coming out to join us. We're here every Friday. Make sure you're here tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern, for Questions with the Queen.
That's me.
She's loaded up more questions. If you've got questions that you'd like to hear Kia answer and give her insight into the WWE, or even just wrestling in general or her background, make sure that you submit your questions, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of them on the Ring Apron, so that way we can be able to talk with, have a chance to kind of reach back out to you guys and, answer the questions that you'd like to know.
I'd love for y'all to pick my brain. Ask me. I don't care if you're a beginner who's just watching. I don't care if you're intermediate. Not the soft hair. We know that's what you're going for. I don't care if you're intermediate. I don't care if you're hardcore. I don't care if you love the Attitude Era. I want all your questions to come in, and I will filter through them with Steve, and we will pick the general questions. And whatever you don't hear this week, you'll hear the following week after our pay-per-view. That is.
Unless she gets 10,000 questions, then at that point, hey, we're gonna grab bag it as best we can. But hey, you guys keep asking us questions. Hey, you're giving us plenty to work with here, and that's what we want. Make it easy for us by asking your questions, so that way we don't have to come up with our own. Because if you guys are asking them, first of all, that means it's topics that you want to hear us talk about, which means not only will Kia talk about them on Questions with the Queen, but it could find its way right here into On the Ring Apron. It could be something that I bring up in trivia on Plate Exchange.
Yep.
So something that you guys can be able to look forward to. But as we said, join us tomorrow at 2 for Questions with the Queen, and then we start moving into Money in the Bank, which of course means we'll have our normal show on Friday, maybe something, a little bonus section in the middle for NXT, since they're going to have basically what is a takeover caliber card. And then, of course, we won't have Questions with the Queen next Saturday. Instead, we'll have Top Rope spoilers to get us ready for Money in the Bank.
I might do something a little different, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
More news following.
With that being said, I want everybody to continue to do what you're doing. Wash your hands, sanitize, wear your gloves when you go out, wear your face mask, make sure you stay 6 feet apart, do the social distancing. We want everybody out there, family, friends, fans, supporters, everybody across the board. We want y'all to stay safe. So do whatever you have to. If it means having to go out as little as possible, please do so. We want to see your faces here, So do what you have to. Stay safe. We love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Mwah.
And as always, we appreciate you guys taking the time to come out and see us. I've lived with her 6 years, plus she knows how to tell people what to do. So either way, y'all stay safe out there, and we will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Y'all have a great night, and peace out. See you later.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's exactly what I was going for.